in
career.
work or whatever. It's like I just worked the last 2 Mondays, and I thought I would be bored. I'm not bored at all. I'm actually not even doing anything. I'm still not bored.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, if I could just win Powerball,
Hmm.
I think I'd be
Early,
just
Do you
fine
play?
walking my dog. I did last time when it was at 1.2 billion.
early retirement.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
I got that app, Jack Pocket, where you can play the lottery on your phone. It buys the tickets for you.
Oh, didn't
Yeah,
know that was technology that existed.
yeah. I don't know if it's in PA, but it is in
Mm.
Jersey. Yeah.
3 million would be nice.
Yes.
Put it in a brokerage account. Take 4% out every year.
Mm-hmm.
Living off of 80K a year, something like that.
Whoa,
When?
CJ, don't get too cool on us.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Where did that come from?
Just fucking leads with a brokerage account. Leads with 80K a year. Dream big, Siege.
I don't want to ask for too much. Give it to the next
You already
guy.
got it.
Yeah. I'm trying to win 1.2 billion. You're asking
Fucking
for 3 million, bro.
Kids these days.
Yeah.
Goddamn brokerage account.
Yeah.
Give 3 million to
Grow up.
a few
Buy
hundred people.
a $200,000 Porsche.
That's what I want to do. 1.2 billion. I can't even, you can't, unless you get into bad investments, you can't spend $1 billion.
Are you telling people
What?
if you win $1 billion? Are you telling anyone?
I'm never speaking to anyone again. They've seen the last of me. That's that.
Yeah, I would tell people, I guess.
Like publicly, would you be like now known as the guy who won
It
$1
would
billion?
it would come out eventually, I think. That I had $1 billion.
I'd be giving out money left and right. I would be being very reckless.
When my pants were made of Rolex.
It'd be all just fucking, here you go.
Your pants made
you
of
go.
Rolexes?
Yeah.
I'd be canceling debt. I would do that. And they would be carrying me around the streets.
Canceling debt. I don't think
I would-
you have the ability to cancel debt. You could pay people's debt off.
I would cancel it.
You
I wouldn't
can't-
pay it off.
You can't just.
I would cancel it.
I don't think that's how.
I would cancel it. I wouldn't pay it off. That's
Okay.
not me.
Okay.
I cancel
Here we go.
Gone.
He's just gonna win so much money. He's gonna grant himself government power, I guess. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Draftkings Sportsbook. You can't cancel the debt unless you lend it out. You know.
Who says I'm not?
Yeah, that's a good point. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS, and brought to you by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process at 302-864-8643. Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of the process, and Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka. We love you, Surfside, the official sponsor of the Corner 3 newsletter. Rizzo, subscribe at rightsrickysanchez.com/newsletter. On the show today, things were going great, right? And then the Sixers puked all over themselves in Sacramento and then continued to puke all over themselves against the Golden State Warriors. So we'll discuss that. Jimmy Butler wants to find his joy back. Joy again, rather. Get his joy back. Is Nick Nurse overusing Tyrese Maxey? One Ricky listener suggests. And somebody brings up a good point. How many dunks per game are the Sixers actually trying? As Fly the process, they have to try 8. And is that even reasonable? So we'll get to that. A new episode of the Draft Council is out this week. New Year's resolutions for the top picks in the 2025 draft. Search it wherever you get your podcast, Draft Council. As I mentioned, Fly the Process is going to Atlanta at the end of March. If you'd like to come with us, it'll be fun. With us and fans in Philly, go to rightstorickysanchez.com/fly. That's right. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka. You're holed up at home. It's cold outside. You're huddling around the TV, maybe a fire. Why don't you do it with a nice Surfside iced tea and vodka? It's only 100 calories. You don't have to worry about getting fat drinking them, right? Only 3 grams of sugar, only lightly sweet, the perfect amount of sweetness. It's the best canned alcoholic beverage there is. It's the iced tea and vodka, the lemonade and vodka, the green tea and vodka, whatever it is, wherever you get your booze. In PA now, you can get it in beer distributors. You get it wherever they sell alcohol, grocery stores, wherever they sell alcohol, gas stations. Used to just be liquor stores, but not just liquor stores anymore. You can try all of it, by the way. If you don't feel like going anywhere, just go to statesidevodka.com. And I haven't done this in a few years. I'm doing it again because the fine folks at the Special Olympics said, hey, you should do this again. And I can never tell anybody no. The polar plunge for the Special Olympics. I never realized what an amazing cause the Special Olympics was until I did this for a few years. And I heard not only the athletes that participate in the Special Olympics, but the families of the athletes. And it really is an awesome cause. Polar plunge is happening February 1st in the middle of the Citizens Bank Park. And it's called, this is later than it normally is. It's normally earlier in the winter. But I'm doing it. Trying to raise money. You can join my team. You can jump in the water as well in the freezing cold, or you can just donate as we raise money for the Special Olympics. The link will be in the description of this pod if you would like to do it. I love if you join me. Great cause. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy who won the lottery, so he's canceling everyone's debt. That is one, Mike Levin.
Oh, you know who's in debt to me is the fucking Philadelphia 76ers. For
what
about
the fuck,
35 years of pain and suffering.
So I kind of wish we were doing the podcast after the Sacramento game because I was so mad at the end of it. But then the end of the Sacramento game pivoted into this Golden State game, and it was so bad that by the end of it, it sort of had the angry beat out of me. That's happened to you before. This was they did not have it from the very beginning of the game. Maxey was not good, and Embiid put numbers up, but to your eye, did not pass the eye test at all. This team had no chance tonight.
No, I mean, a fucking despicable effort tonight. Disgusting. The last 5 quarters, I'm still mad. The last 5 quarters of Sixers basketball are just like putrid. Like I've called for this team and this organization to be embarrassed so often.
A lot of times.
And I'm doing it again. Just truly pathetic. Like the careless turnovers between Joel, PG, and Maxey. Maxey currently turning the ball over of late more than at any other point in his career. It's disconcerting to me. The embarrassing carelessness on the glass. Too often they get outworked, just being lazy, just so careless and lazy and unfocused. And the defense in this game was just like truly atrocious. Like absolutely, like couldn't indescribably bad defensive play in this game. And I thought the defense at the beginning was like, all right, Golden State's hitting shots, we're turning the ball over, whatever. Nurse goes to a zone, and that was one of the worst coaching decisions in like a meaningless regular season game that I've ever seen in my life.
Worse than starting Kyle Lowry again?
That is, let's put it together. Let's pack them right in. They're part of a piece. Just completely indefensible to go to a zone there. He coaches this team sometimes like they are. His rotation is like 10 OG Ananobis, and they're just not. They're just not. Like you're asking like Eric Gordon and Reggie Jackson and old ass Kyle Lowry to like scramble and recover and show hands and be physical, and they just like cannot do it. They don't have that in them. And the Warriors, whether Steph is on the court or not, like you're going to go to a zone against a team with a ton of shooters and just give them open look after open look after open look and let Draymond just like pick you the fuck apart. It's so embarrassing. It was really so embarrassing. Me and MOC argue about this all the time over text. We argued about it yesterday in good good spirits and everything. I always love MOC, but like the sending help debate, it just drives me crazy. They gave up a catastrophic amount of open threes in this one. On top of the threes they're already allowing the Warriors to take, they're like begging Draymond to take the threes. Like, yeah, okay, you're up 25, you're down 25, and you're waving at Draymond like, yeah, I dare you to shoot it. It's like he's gonna, and that's a better shot than anything the Sixers get. And it just, if you look at the box score, you could say, man, frustrating. Oh boy, the Warriors just hit 60% of their threes.
Yeah, but that's not what happened.
And that's it. But that's not what happened at all. That's not what happened. No. This Sixers team
wasn't just one of those nights.
Lifeless, heartless, gutless, despicable basketball. And from like every single player on the team, every single coach, with the exception of Gershon Yabusele, was just absolutely embarrassed in this game. And they should feel shame. They should feel like pathetic and shame. You said Embiid played, he had 28 and 14, and like
he was picking up numbers in the third quarter.
I was repulsed by it.
Yeah,
I was repulsed by the way he was just like doing that. His energy was bad. He didn't play last night. Fine. You're not going to play back-to-backs? Fine. They lose a heart-wrencher last night because like they fall apart in the fourth quarter. They turn the ball over inexplicably. Maxey turnover on the same exact kind of play over and over again. Then Paul George does it. And then it's like, okay, Joel's playing this one. They're a little shorthanded. You got to set the tone. And he was so whiny and slow and disinterested, and he like wasn't running back on defense and throwing his hands up. He looked gassed. He starts fucking around with his mask then, and then he has the gall to like pick up stats in the third quarter once the game's out of hand, and even has like a frustration dunk. That frustration dunk truly pissed me off. As a guy that's begging them to always dunk and begging them to show like emotion and heart and go fucking be the more aggressive team, for that to happen when you're down 35 and you're about to come out for the rest of the game. I'm more like disgusted with Joel than I've ever been. Like just an embarrassing for it to happen on this court. The first time he came back after the Jonathan Kuminga falling on his knee and being out for the most of the year, it was bad. Hated it.
By the way, it was the kind of Embiid stuff that people who complain about Embiid, like it's like this sort of thing.
That's
where again, and the fucking, was it Reggie Miller was just like, Joel Embiid's starting to cook and blah 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 in the third quarter. It's just like I
turned the volume off by that.
I'm like that is not the case. That is not what's happening here. He's not coming alive. No. He is the other team doesn't care. And by the way, he should have been doing this 2 quarters ago in the first quarter. I especially after they blew the Sacramento game, you knew like it was the perfect thing to blow the Sacramento game and then lose this game.
Yep,
like it was the most predictable thing in the world when they blew that fucking game.
That's right.
And not a coach guy, not a ref guy, but one coach thing here. How is Yabusele, who has been great all year, the only guy who's him and Caleb Martin are the only 2 guys that are busting their ass literally all the time, those 2 guys. How does Yabusele only play 10 minutes in the first half? And then how is he the only regular guy who's got to play fucking mop-up duty for the last 11 minutes of the game? Why is he still in there?
Inexplicable and rude. And if some reporter, I know that they don't travel with the team, doesn't ask Nick Nurse, like, hey, do you feel like giving your game check to Yabusele tonight? Why do you feel like you deserve your game check and Gershon doesn't deserve it? Like the whole team should be handing Gershon money for tonight.
Yes.
Because he was the only one to do legitimately anything, played his ass off. Like I have compliments for Yabusele, but like you watched the game, you saw it. He did good. He was cutting, he was bodying, he was finishing inside. Yes. Like I'm like mad on his behalf that he would be forced to play mop-up duty instead of fucking Reggie Jackson's corpse or Eric Gordon's corpse. Like, what are we doing? Just Nick Nurse should have to fucking go out there. If you're going to play. You want to play Kyle Lowry? Just play yourself.
Play 4 guys.
Really bleak. We talked Lowry. Do you want to do an ad or should we keep going?
Well, hold on. Let me.
Do you want to do an ad or should I keep going about Kyle? I'm fucking pissed, dude. It's awful. There's no. You don't get to fucking fuck around for most of this fucking. Go. Yes.
Well, I'm gonna do Draftkings now because if you start this, we're gonna be 7 minutes into it.
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
Fucking A. Geez, I don't even know what to say about DraftKings because the Eagles game doesn't matter. You know what? I like the Eagles -3 against the Giants, by the way. Absolutely. With all the fucking backups. What'd you think, Mike? What'd you think of the Eagles not playing Saquon on Sunday? Right move? Saquon and starters.
I would have been fine with either situation, basically. In the moment, it feels like, winning a Super Bowl and setting yourself up and not getting anybody injured is the most important thing, and I understand that. But in 20 years, the idea that Saquon could have had the record and they like let it not happen is a little bit disappointing. But I'm not mad either way.
I said if he or any of the offensive linemen would have gotten hurt,
yes,
the decision to play them would have gone down as the worst decision in the history of Philly sports.
That's right. That's 100% right.
Yeah. And I get it. Like the record's cool and all, but Eagles +650 to win the Super Bowl. Chiefs +350, Lions +425, and then the Eagles, Bills, and Ravens all at +650 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Vikings +800 at DraftKings Sportsbook. The Sixers came in, I think, +3.5, and then when it was announced that Curry was going to play, they were +4.5. Anyway, look, here's the thing. This Sixers team will torture the fuck out of you. It's better to just bet on stuff than care about whether they win. And you should do it at DraftKings Sportsbook. Whether you're going to do college football playoffs, you're going to do NBA, you're going to do college basketball, hockey. Bet on hockey? Come on, what the fuck? Do a same game parlay in hockey. All new customers for the new year. Here's your gift for the new year. Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code RTRS. That's code RTRS for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. You bet just $5. Happy holidays from DraftKings. Crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21. See show notes for details. All right, Lowry.
You just don't get to fuck as a team, and I'm going to get into Lowry. You just don't get to fuck around for the first 20, 25 games and then go like, meh, it's a back-to-back though. Sacramento to San Francisco,
right.
that's like a kind of a tough drive.
They've put themselves in the position where they can't
fuck around.
No.
And they are fucking around. I do not trust this team. I do not trust this coaching staff. I do not trust this organization. I do not trust Joel. Like, I just don't trust anybody at all to give consistent effort and be adults. They are one of the oldest teams in the league. They have a veteran coach who has won Coach of the Year and won a championship. And they are some of the least disciplined teams, one of the least disciplined teams in the league. Bad passers, bad and slow decision makers. Well, and the only one that's a reasonably fast decision maker or solid passer is Kyle Lowry, who is bad at this point everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing else.
You mentioned the sloppiness. It is like it's funny that they are this bad combination of slow decision makers and also sloppy. Like, you would think the fact that they were making slow decisions, they would be more precise in their decision making. But it seems like there is like a 10-minute stretch of every game they play where 3 out of every 4 possessions they throw the ball to the other team. Like, it seems like there was a 10-minute stretch, and they opened up. They opened up the game tonight. The way it opened up, you knew there was no way they were going to recover, because it was one of those games where they were turning the ball over literally every possession. And a very weird game from Maxey. Like
a horrible game from Maxey.
I know he's not on drugs, but he sort of plays like he's on drugs sometimes. Smoking layups, not in the flow of the game at all. Like, that's the bad Maxey that is like, I don't know. He was just did not seem there to me tonight.
So he's been good. His shot has come back over the last 3 weeks or so, which is good. Mm-hmm. He missed 5 layups tonight, like missed layups. Just came in and missed layups. Yep. And it doesn't seem to me like he's doing any drugs, but it does seem like he's throwing a little bit of a tantrum in a way that I recognize in myself. certainly when I was younger, when you're like trying so hard. And for me, like my face got all red and like I'm huffing and puffing and I'm kind of, this is me as a kid, kind of close to tears. And my family and people that I grew up with would probably agree with that sentiment sometimes. But he's had bad body language all year, dude.
Yes, he has.
He's been pissed at teammates. He's been pissed at refs. And not to say he's always wrong, but like it's really not what you want to see from a leader. And it's especially noticeable because of how sudden of a change it is.
Yeah.
He was not like, it's like he's trying to act a certain way now that he got paid or something. I don't really understand it. I get being frustrated, but he could have been frustrated last year when Joel got hurt and he had to like carry the team for 40 games or whatever. And, you know, had some good moments and bad moments and learning, you know, sort of learning experience and growth and all that stuff. And this season, it just seems like I don't know what the deal is. I will say, like, he had 4 steals tonight. He's second in the league in steals right now. I'm going to give him credit for being a legitimate competitor on the defensive end and had a nice like block from behind on Dennis Schroeder jump shot. Like he's just a really, really good defensive player now, which is awesome to see. But that is the end of the compliments. I'm pissed.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And he just like, you said it, like out of the flow of the offense, there's just no juice whatsoever right now. And you could see sometimes they have it and sometimes it just goes away so quick. Like there was times in this road trip where the ball's swinging around, somebody gets an advantage, kick to a shooter, swing, wait till the open guy as the defense collapses and scrambles, and you get an open shot. And it's like, that feels good. That feels like that could be something.
Portland game.
Yeah, Portland game plenty. Obviously, Portland not a good team. But like, sometimes it just feels like no one has ever played with each other before, and the coaching staff is like coaching them like it's an all-star game, and everyone deserves a chance to cook. It's just completely baffling how random they look sometimes. Random in a bad way, just like random. And I thought Maxey was absolute dog shit tonight on offense. And yeah, PG got, hit a couple contested mid-range jumpers, which he does sometimes. He hits enough contested mid-range jumpers to like excuse the fact that he settles
only
so
takes
often.
mid-range jumpers.
He settles so often. I love when he attacks the basket. He's so shifty and crafty down there, and he just doesn't do it much. He just doesn't do it much. And I know that everyone that watches Paul George, that roots for Paul George, says this. And here we are doing it. Like it is frustrating watching him be like, hey, well, I can get my shot off against anybody. And it's like, but don't. But don't, dude. Get a better look. And he's been in foul trouble annoyingly for the last like 5 games that like has been.
Yeah.
And like always one random in the AU article about Paul George that came out, he talked about him having like a Danny of the game. And it is like once in a while, he just becomes Danny Green and does like a insane thing offensively.
You can see it coming too.
And it's like breathtaking. It's
yeah.
breathtakingly stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you think you are right now?
Yeah.
And it's just, ultimately Lowry has sucked and I'm mad at Nick Nurse for playing him. And yeah, there's going to be a play where every game where I'm just going to love a play that Lowry makes because he does it. He's going to make a savvy veteran play and you're going to go like, that's why he's there. Fuck yeah, Kyle Lowry. But like that masks dozens of plays that he doesn't make because he's too small and too slow and too non-threatening from so many areas on the court.
Well, and I want to be clear, by the way, I don't know what decision at this point Nurse is supposed to make from a rotation perspective if Oubre's not there.
Yep.
And
they miss Kelly for sure tonight.
And KJ Martin, by the way, he's not a guard, but it still fucks the rotation up.
They miss KJ Martin for sure.
Yeah, and they just do not have and McCain, obviously, they do not have a capable backup. Like their 2 real backup point guards right now are Kyle Lowry and Reggie Jackson. That's who's there. Like I don't, and Jeff Doughton. I don't.
And they're trying to look. Yeah. It's not. That's why it was weird to me when Yabusele played 11 minutes in the first half.
Yes, it was ridiculous.
It's like, at the very least, like he should be in more.
Put him in a point guard
often. Anything. And yeah, look, absolutely the team is without McCain, without Oubre, without even Drummond a little bit, because then you can play Yabu more at 4. I thought Drummond played pretty good against Sacramento, aside from, as always, a few baffling turnovers. And KJ Martin, you're shorthanded. You're missing those guys. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But it ultimately is going to boil down to Maxey, PG, and Embiid being good enough. This was not the case where it's like we have those 3 max contract guys and like, man, nobody else could deliver. That's what you get for trusting minimums. Like, those guys were bad. Those guys were all bad. And they were collectively and connectively very bad together. And they set the tone for the rest of the team. And ultimately, it's going to be the 3 of them and Nick Nurse figuring this shit out. And they lost a very, very, very winnable game in Sacramento when they decided to rest Joel for that game instead of like playing him and probably taking the win and going like, let's see if we can get both. They get neither. And now they're back in the hole. And the East is bad. And like, Milwaukee loses to Brooklyn tonight. And Miami is imploding with Jimmy. And we're going to talk about whatever. But like, so maybe this team limps into the play-in and maybe they win a play-in game and whatever if everybody else stays fucking healthy. But like, it is just so goddamn clear to me that it is not happening this season. And I don't know what massive thing is going to change for next season, but like, something should, whether it's a coaching staff thing or the right combination of players or like Embiid just kind of realizing that like time is running out. And when you are healthy enough to play, don't do the bullshit. And tonight was bullshit. And I'm annoyed. I'm just very annoyed by it. And Maxey has been like a fucking gold star person and player for his whole career. And so the fact that he's had a weird couple months so far offensively and just like attitudinally is annoying to me. But I'm happy to forgive him for it. But like, the shit reeks, dude.
Tonight reeked. Last night, and real quick, the Sacramento game, the last 5 minutes of the Sacramento game were infuriating. I know it was 2 nights ago, but the Paul George and Tyrese Maxey just truly puking all over themselves in the last 5 minutes of that game, like taking turns turning the ball over.
And just expecting the refs to like bail them out on those things.
Yes, whether it is the very, very mindless shot clock violation or Paul George basically dribbling himself into the corner of half court with 2 guys surrounding him to turn it off, or that fucking Tyrese Maxey turnover where he gets too fucking close to the half court line. And because basically when he does that, he's double teaming himself.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like because the half court line is another defender. He can't go by that person.
That's what they teach you.
And that's a game they should have won because they actually played really well. I thought
they played a great 3 quarters.
Yes.
And still, I mean, look, without Joel, a couple annoying, like, well, you should be up by more. You should be up by more.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to be up by more here.
But they kept stretching it back out. Like every time it would get to 4, it would go to 9 again. Like they didn't collapse until last.
No, they didn't collapse, but it's just like,
they did.
When you don't have until the end, when you don't have Joel, you just got to like win some battles. And they keep losing the offensive rebounding battle against like every team. The Kings had 14 they shot 49% from the field and had 14 offensive rebounds. Sixers had 8. And just like those are possessions. Those are possessions that like you're just gonna miss out on when you're not like the physical. We're not the aggressor, you're not the physical. And like I've talked about this over the course of the season, but like even when things are going well, there's occasionally like a ball that bounces off the rim and just kind of lands in between 3 Sixers, and they all kind of assume somebody's gonna get that.
So, yes, and the other team gets it.
And the other team gets it. And then those extra possessions kill you. And I think in general, the lackadaisical nature of let's not say Maxey because he really isn't, although he has occasionally been more than ever. But like PG and Embiid, occasionally just way too casual and lackadaisical and loose, and that bites you. there's just not that.
Especially when you start the season 3-14.
Especially when you start the season 3-14, and the Kings score 16 unanswered points to end it. Nick Nurse uses his timeouts at the very end instead of when like PG is trapped at the corner, and forces a turnover out of it. It's just, I mean, the degree of difficulty goes up, and every game starts to matter a lot more because you started 3-14, and now you're dealing with some injuries. Now you're dealing with lack of depth. There's more back-to-backs coming over January. January has a ton of back-to-backs. We saw it when we were making the schedule for this month's podcast episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have to survive those. And, like, there's a chance that they go into the playoffs, like, fucking 35-47, and they're the 9 seed. And, like, I just want to say, fuck that, dude. Fuck that. I'd rather not. And then I'd save everybody else's energy for the next season and have a shot at a top 6 pick. See if you can get lucky in the lottery. There was a couple good weeks in the middle there, and I can feel fans going like, it looks good. Like, beat the Celtics on Christmas, that kicked ass.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I do not trust this team. I do not trust the level of seriousness that they bring to any given moment. Really? They're too old to not be adults. And then the young guys are like, obviously McCain was great, but like Ricky can't be in a rotation in a real team.
No.
Ricky can't be he cannot be playing rotation minutes on a real team. I hope he's traded. I hope he gets to like grow and go be Jonathan Simmons somewhere else. I love the guy. Fun to watch at a Blue Coats game or in the last 3 minutes of a game when you're up by 20, but like just too frustrating. Not a serious...
Every game does something too fucking outrageous and dumb.
Yeah.
Not calling him dumb, there's always a decision he makes and a shot he takes.
Yes.
That
he got benched in the Sacramento game because he made a behind the back pass that got picked off.
Not just a behind the back pass under the basket when he was jumping.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Who do you fuck do you think you are?
So I understand why Daryl would want to wait till the trade deadline to see like all available options. But if they want to upgrade this team, if they want to fold and call it, I'm fine with that. But if Daryl wants to, they're not going to do that. Yeah. But if Daryl wants to upgrade the team, I would start to do it now. I would make some move now to get. There's just too many guys that can't do stuff. Even Caleb, who has had a good run lately, like it takes so long for his shot to get off. Lowry can't get a shot off anywhere.
Shoots an air ball half the time anyway.
Is in the middle. Like I hate the like guy gets the ball in the middle of the lane and is like looking the other way. And it's like there's just in the flow of a basketball game, you can't just be like 3 hunting for every single thing. You have to take reasonable shots as they come and attack the basket and be a threat. And too many guys on the team are just not threats. Reggie Jackson's not a threat. Eric Gordon has made some plays and now some threes are starting to fall, which is nice, but like so slow defensively. Can't flip his hips at all. Yeah, Rick, watching like Moses Moody just step into a 3 like a normal person and watching Ricky like have to do like a 45-foot step back
away.
where he's like on his tippy toes and they're like his feet are like touching each other somehow. Like the form is so bad and he shoots it like it's gonna touch the fucking jumbotron. There's just too many guys in this team that are not serious. Even KJ Martin, who I love and is having a great year, needs all day to get his 3-point shot off.
Well, he hasn't been guarded on 1-3 all year, I don't think, actually.
No. And so, yeah, ultimately, like, you just need more guys that can do multiple things. And right now, they don't have it.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process. Watching the Sixers will stress you out. Buying a fucking shore house in Delaware would probably stress you out if you didn't have Ksebe. He wants you to be able to relax in your Delaware beach house. Relax, fucking rent it out to other people most of the summer. They're going to pay your mortgage. You're going to have generational wealth by buying that shore house.
That's right.
And watching CJ, if you won the fucking lottery, you'd buy a shore house in fucking Rehoboth, right? Delaware, use Ksebe, Ksebe, Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process. His team is based out of Long and Foster in Bethany Beach. If you're looking for a beach house, dude, fuck Jersey Shores. Too crowded, too much property tax. Get everything in Delaware, especially if you're going to buy the same number of beach towns. You got Rehoboth, like I just mentioned, Bethany, Lewis, Dewey, all those places. And you got way lower property taxes, but it's a competitive market out there. So you need a great realtor. And that's what Adam Ksebe is. This is his thing. This is his thing. So you go, you buy the Delaware beach house, and you can rent it out for most of the summer if you want. That way you have your beach house for the 2 or 3 weeks you want to go down there, maybe go down there for some weekends in the fall and the winter. Anyway, as I mentioned, Ksebe is the guy. All of Delaware, all of Maryland. If you want to buy or sell in either of those states, you got to use Ksebe. Have to. Ksebe, Ksebe. Or if you're buying or selling in another state, PA, Jersey, New York, wherever it is, Ksebe can't do it for you, but he will be your resource. Go to him first. He will interview realtors for you. He will find the best one, and then you'll be set up. 302-864-8643. 302-864-8643. That is his direct cell, or adam@processrealtor.com. That is Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process. Do you want to move on to the other stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe they beat Brooklyn, and it's like, all right, it's fine. This is a bad stretch.
That's what'll happen.
Like,
yeah.
They just don't.
But tonight,
it's just like, fuck them. Like,
fuck them tonight for sure. We're doing a late night pod. It's fucking 1 a.m. Got to do it after losing by 35 to the fucking Warriors. What are we doing?
I've been doing some serious resenting, and I resent them.
Yeah.
I resent them as an organization.
You should. I resent them as people. Do you want to play this Cade Cunningham thing or no? You really like it?
Yeah, we can play it.
You loved it.
This is great. This kicks ass.
So Isaiah Stewart was guarding. Who was he guarding? Terrell Suggs.
Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
And Cade just clapping along. No help coming. Forces a tough fadeaway at the end of the half. And it just kicks ass, dude. I love it on a teammate level of Cade being like, hey, take the fucking assignment. You got this. I'm not coming. No one's coming. Force him to take a tough shot.
If you're just listening, you can see it in the video. By the way, I love Isaiah Stewart, by the way.
Yeah, he's an interesting player.
And he's a fucking lunatic.
I think he should be a classic backup five on a team that matters. But like, good for Cade, just like setting the tone and like taking it personally for his guy and being like, this is you. You got this. I am applauding it. And for him to be on the court doing that, I just thought that kicked ass. And I love that he forced a tough shot. And that's generally my ethos across the board. Make them take tough shots. What the Sixers did with the Warriors tonight was give them
easy shots.
Dozens of easy shots.
Yeah.
Wide open, easy looks. And then they kind of just looked at each other afterwards and go like, what? What is it? You're supposed to, what is that? Just like they're too fucking old.
Well, the dumbfounded looking at each other as to whose guy was that is maddening.
Brutal.
So
got to be cleaned up. Just like switch everything then. At least switch everything and say, hey, Reggie Jackson, like you're covering this person, top of the key. Make him take a tough shot.
CJ, I think we're going to skip the Charles thing and just go right to the Jimmy Butler. So Jimmy Butler, the rumors have been going for like 3 weeks now that he wants to get traded, even though his agent Bernie Lee called Shams a liar on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that a couple weeks ago. Originally, he just wanted to be traded to, what was it, Golden State or Houston or Dallas or something.
Yeah. As
As of today, it is literally any team.
Anywhere.
Shams is reporting. Here was his.
Send him to Detroit.
Here is winner who has literally forced himself out of every team he's ever been on. Winner Jimmy Butler after tonight's Heat game.
I don't shoot the ball a lot, but we won't sit here and say that I don't play hard.
What will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it?
What do I want to see happen? I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here, off the court. But I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop. And I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
There he goes. Jimmy Butler wants to be traded. Now, if you remember when he was with the Sixers and he wasn't getting his way offensively, he did a similar thing where he didn't shoot. He has taken 6 and 5 shots the last 2 nights. You would not trade Paul George for Jimmy Butler, would you?
No.
Because he's not going to be happy unless you give him an extension anyway. And I don't think
Paul George has been a really good defensive player.
Yeah.
He's probably better than Jimmy defensively at this point. And he also spaces the floor more, and he's less of a problematic
less
asshole.
pain in the ass. Yeah.
But I don't think they can trade Paul, right?
Sure they can.
They can trade him right now? Or
They trade him
later?
after January 15th or whatever.
January 15th. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I wouldn't do that.
I also would not. Shockingly. But
Yeah.
there you go.
I mean,
Paul
there's-
George
yeah.
or Jimmy
It's-
Butler wants to be traded.
Nice-
And Pat
nice
Riley
of
has
him to
made a
do that.
statement that they're not trading him.
Yeah. Nice of him to do that on a night like tonight when they lose by 45. I'm just looking. It's just really hard to upgrade this team right now. Is there a chance that Jared McCain comes back at a certain point?
No. I mean, it would be really, really late in the season.
How late?
Pretty late. I mean, you're talking like 10, 12 weeks. So he's at already half of December, January, February, March, like the playoffs.
Because I understand people going like, we need another guard that can like get into the paint,
Yeah.
create an advantage.
Yeah.
But like, if odds are that guy won't be able to hang defensively, and so you're trading for someone, you're spending like the limited resources they have on someone who won't be able to hang in the playoffs really. And it's just very tricky. It's I'm a little bit reluctant to do that. Unless you maybe go like you do the double trade. Like if you trade for Herb Jones and as an example, he's not healthy, but like Jose Alvarado
Right.
right now. And you go like, okay, we gotta get both.
Whatever they do at the deadline, if they are going in on this team, there needs to be another guard on the team. like they can't go into the playoffs with this set of guards. It's impossible.
No, that's right.
So we got an email from Jeremy, writes RickySanchez@gmail.com.
CJ sneezed, bless you.
How do we get Nick Nurse to stop overusing Maxey? I feel like he's going to be spent by the playoffs. So I looked at Maxey's minutes, and prior to tonight, he was at 37.4 a game, which felt like way too much. But then I went and I looked. Mikal Bridges is at 39 a game. Josh Hart, now the Knicks, is at 37.3.
You're talking Thibodeau. This is the one comp.
Yep. No, De'Aaron Fox is at 37.2. Jokic is at 36.9. Jamal Murray's at 36.7. Devin Booker's at 36.3. Jason Tatum's at 36.3. Damian Lillard's at 36.3. Anthony Edwards at 36.1. So I don't know. I thought that I saw the 37 and I'm like, man, no, maybe not. You know, if Devin Booker can play 36 minutes a game and Damian Lillard can play 36 minutes a game and Jason Tatum can play 36 minutes a game, so can Tyrese Maxey.
I would wager that Maxey's 37.5 he's putting more mileage on his legs than
he's probably moving more. Yes.
Anybody else. Yes.
But you know what? I feel like, sorry, I knocked my headphones out. I feel like some of that's on him. Like, you know, I now I don't know who it was on. I felt like in the first quarter and a half, saw almost no 2-man game with him and Embiid tonight. Just that sort of normal pick and roll, unguardable action that when it's working, they run it, which doesn't take a lot of effort. I saw a lot of top speed Maxey, but not a lot of that.
It's totally like Maxey going right full speed. Going right full speed. And Draymond is a smart defender. The Warriors are a smart team. They're gonna make it. You know, Trace Jackson Davis is a good rim protector that can also move his feet. And who, by the way, everybody could have had. He's a second-round pick. Like, so frustrated with, like, obvious good players falling. And the Sixers draft well.
Yeah.
They should get all the
Nowadays,
good
they do
players they
pretty
like, though. They should have all of them.
Jeremy also asked, during self-checkout, how many times do you try to scan something that won't scan before you A, call someone over, B, put it aside and don't buy it, C, throw it in your bag anyway?
Well, that's theft, Jeremy.
Yeah, I don't ever just steal it. I will try to scan it over and over and over again until the red light pops up that I need help. And then I embarrassingly point to the thing and sort of mumble a bunch of different words. I tried to da.
Yeah, I mostly use a regular line unless I have like very few items.
Okay.
Because I don't work there. That's their job.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going
yeah.
to them for them to do their
There's
job.
always a
and
line. That's why I
appreciate
don't do
them
it.
doing their job.
Yeah.
And it's weird to be like, well, I'm gonna get to work here and start scanning. But what I would do, it's probably happened a handful of times. What I would do in that situation is probably make some sort of put upon exhausted harumphing sounds.
Yeah.
So that
So
someone comes over without me having to actually call them over. Probably just maybe gesture a few times and just be like, oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, I'll try it again. There's a man grumbling to himself. Let me go help him out.
Ethan sent in some more McCain trades to rights@Sanchez@gmail.com. Do you want to hear them out?
Fine.
Well, what do you want to do? We can't complain about the game anymore. We got to move on to the next thing.
Does it feel like we are
What?
just like animatronics at a Chuck E. Cheese after, like, in the middle of the night?
Sometimes.
Like, we just like...
Yes, they turn us on. And
No, I'm saying that, like, we should be off. And it should be... The Sixers generally should be, like, boarded up and turned into, like, I don't know, whatever stores are now. But they're still like, it's still like going. We're still just sort of like doing the robot in the middle of the night for no one that no one is enjoying.
But a lot of people are enjoying it. They're not maybe. Not
I just think the
enjoying
Sixers
game.
generally should have been like, the show ended. It just feels like the show of the Sixers, and then us talking about the Sixers. We are. If this was a network show, it would have been canceled by now. And it just kind of keeps going. And because we never had a season that ended in a satisfying conclusion.
Streaming era, bro. It's not a network show.
No, streaming era would have been canceled.
Yeah, it's 2 seasons in. Yeah.
Would have been done. I don't know. It just feels like a little bit like our bodies are dead, but our consciousness survives, or maybe the opposite. I haven't pinned it down yet.
No. The consciousness is dead and the body's still moving. It's the opposite.
Maybe it's that.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Weird.
Yeah.
At this point, if the Sixers, if this era of Sixers basketball, which is to say like Embiid, Maxey, Daryl, if this era of Sixers basketball ends in even a championship appearance, that feels like jumping the shark.
Oh, if they actually succeed at this point.
Yes, at this point, if they actually succeed, it's like...
It seems too unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't feel...
Yeah.
Realistic.
Yeah.
If it happened, it'd be like, what?
I was going to spoil the end of a movie, but I can't because it's too recent. But yes, it's all like when you're like...
it all worked out?
Yes, when it shouldn't have.
Everyone just, after all that, it all just like worked out?
It worked out, yeah.
Everybody was happy and we hugged. We all like, yeah, we're going to have a Ricky section of the parade. Like, that's what's going to happen? Oh, really? Grow up. This isn't working. We're going to die here. Hard to imagine anything else. But we're still doing it, moving around like animatronics with their brains taken out.
Well, most of the time, I feel like you are feeling right now. And occasionally, I remember I got a text message from Clem from Stateside, CEO of Stateside. And he was very like upset about some Embiid thing. It was when he hadn't played yet. And he was like, I don't know, this feels like it might be really bad. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? I was like, this thing is so over. It might be bad. What do you think is going to happen from this point? Like, imagine you weren't a fan of the Sixers and you were watching it from the outside. What would you think? You know, you wouldn't think about us very seriously at all.
Well, it's tough because they did get the cap space to sign Paul George.
They did. It was
flexes
great.
on
It was a great offseason.
Jersey.
That was our championship.
It would be nice if the championship was their championship.
Yeah, well, beggars can't be choosers. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of the process. We love Adam Kornblau. Have you been hurt by your favorite basketball team? Have they caused you undue stress? Well, then you have to go to the premier personal injury law firm. Have they made you bash your head into the wall? You have an injury from it? Then you got to go to the premier boutique personal injury law firm in the Delaware Valley. Have they forced you to slip and fall? Then you got to go to Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of the process. Ignore the advertisements you hear everywhere else for different law firms. They are too big. They do not provide personal service. Many of them don't even practice law where you are. They are referral services. Kornblau, not that. Real lawyer, going to take care of you. You reach out to Kornblau and Kornblau, you get him. Been doing the job, Kornblau and Kornblau, as a law firm for decades. Kornblau, obsessed with it, obsessed with winning for you and making sure that you are communicated to during the entire process. A great partner. If you've been injured in any way, medical malpractice, which is their specialty, slip and fall, injured at work, car accident, whatever it is. If you've been hurt in any way, you need a lawyer, you reach out to Kornblau. And many of our listeners, even if it's not personal injury, they have any legal question, they reach out to Kornblau. He'll always help you out. If it is a referral, if it's not a case that he can take, he can help you out on that too. Need a lawyer in any way, I just want you to reach out to Kornblau first. You're going to get Adam. 215-576-7200. Ask for Adam. Email Kornblau at kornblauandkornblau.com. Kornblau. Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of the process. I mean,
I know that you think that.
What?
You definitely think that it's over and that it's never going to happen, which is like odds are, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I would say that with like most teams.
Most teams.
It's like that because only one team gets to win.
Mm-hmm.
And every year you go into it thinking the team that won last year has the best chance to win.
Mm-hmm. And more time, and now more than ever, it's never that team.
Right. And so, like, you know, the Bucks won one, the Lakers win one, and then the Lakers are in the wilderness for years.
There's a fake one.
Don't
anyway.
figure it out.
Yeah.
The Bucks win one.
Also a fake one.
They've fired their coach.
Yep.
Can't figure it out. Things are weird.
Keep losing in the first round. The Bucks, by the way.
The Nuggets win one, and then like they let guys go, and they're not going to have like it happens very fast.
Mm-hmm.
It feels unlikely that it's ever going to happen, and then it happens, and it feels like, well, this is how it's always going to be, and then quickly it becomes that's not the case. Is sort of how it's gone the last few years.
But doesn't it seem like, not to interrupt, we'll let you finish, but in those other cases, every single one of them felt like they were building to a championship. We don't feel like we're building to a championship. That's where I lose my faith, is that the Celtics win and the Lakers win and the Bucks win and the Denver win.
I think it only looks like that in retrospect.
Well,
I think
that's
if I do think that it is. The thing I just said, I do think it's true. Because I think you kind of go around and you go, as you're telling the story of how it happened after the fact, it seems inevitable. And you go like, well, that's why it happened. They got that guy, and then that's how it clicked. And we all told each other in the locker room that, well, actually this year we're going to decide to win.
Did me agreeing with you push you back to the fact that you now?
No,
think
I
it
just
could happen?
I'm aware of myself enough to know that with another good week, This season,
Yes.
I'm pretty out on altogether, and even in a good week or a good moment or a couple good plays or here or there, I'll enjoy it and I'll root for good things to happen.
Yes.
But I do. This season more than ever. Feels like the earliest I've been like it is not going to happen, and there's only so many bullets that the team has. So save them for when you really can let it line up, and it's all for a possibly victorious run. But I know myself and know that, like, say Embiid gets hurt, Paul George gets hurt, it's Maxey and the other guys for the last 2.5 months of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They finish as, like,
They win 30% of their games.
Yeah, they win a total of 30 games.
Yep.
They have a shot, not a great shot, but a shot at a top 6 pick and keeping their pick, whether they get it or not.
Okay.
Next season, with some tinkering in the fringes and like a full season of, Caleb Martin will be there. Maybe they re-sign Gershon, McCain healthy and another year older. Like, I will absolutely be able to convince myself that this team has a very good chance of it coming together.
Well, I think it has a chance of coming together if the biggest problem wasn't the biggest problem, and if I believe there was any chance of that biggest problem being solved. And that's like Embiid playing 10 straight games. Like think of that. He's not going to play 10 straight games all season. And to win a championship, you have 4 7-game series.
Well, if you even 10 straight games, not back to back.
Yes, but he's not even not back to back. He's not going to play 10 straight games.
Or we're close to that now. If you count Sacramento Golden State as one.
He had played
Isn't he
4
like-
straight games.
Is it 4?
4. Yeah, 4. I think he had played 4 consecutive games.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just like I agree with everything you say, and I'm not trying to be a doomer. And I agree that, okay, you say that this season is cursed. I agree with you. You say conceptually,
this was
obviously,
his 5th straight game. If you
Okay.
count one, the back to back as one, this was his fifth straight game.
okay. So if you assume obviously Maxey will be fine, assume PG is whatever, but like the biggest problem is like who knows if this guy's going to be ready to play the beginning of the season next year, or I have no idea why he couldn't play the beginning of the season this year. We
To
still
me,
don't know.
Yeah. To me, anybody, Joel's had a ridiculous run of bad luck over many years that has prevented him. And it's more than just like, wear and tear has him out again. Like, he hasn't been, despite how it's talked about, like, Kawhi is much more, we're just shutting him down. We're shutting him down for quite some time because of various sorenesses and surgeries and again and again. And Embiid is like, when I'm healthy, I'm playing, not back-to-backs. And it's the random, my face broke again. And Jonathan Kuminga lands on my knee. And like,
Except for now, though, because now the knee is like the Kawhi knee.
Right, but
I would agree with you
yeah.
leading up into this point,
Yeah.
but
That's
now it's not as bad, obviously, but we will wake up one day and it will be like Kawhi hasn't even fucking played this year,
Right. Yeah.
So
yes. I guess the injuries are what they are, and that is so out of your control, but another concern of mine, and we've talked about this in the past, we talked about everything, but like, it is Joel conditioning and like being, if you're not gonna play last night, you got to come in with like
yes,
pop and heat
Yes.
and juice, and you got to be the freshest one out there. And he just like he started the game off lumbering, and
there's just something fucking missing.
and it's the like, there's so few guys that you can legitimately build your team around, and Joel's definitely one of those guys, obviously. But is he one of those guys that also makes you win a championship.
Right.
Like
talent-wise,
within the like, let's say, call it like 12 championship level superstars, even taking away the injury thing, Joel has not proven throughout like any number of stretch to be like actual leadership guy.
No.
And for much of his career, I poo-pooed that, like, for sure. And I think a lot of it was unfair, for sure. And he's been let down by organization and his teammates and coaching and a ton of other stuff.
But it's been him too.
But it's been him too. And now we're at the place where it's like, we are here at like the final few years of Joel Prime-ish. And he's just like, obviously he's not Steph. And obviously he's not Giannis. But like, it'd be nice if he was on the road to that a little bit more. And it doesn't seem like he takes it seriously. And it feels like he feels a lot of times like he's more of the victim than someone that can actually go in there and go like, I'm going to be the person that this team needs me to be. And deliver all the time as a win by example, as a play effort wise, and also as like a take guys under my wing and like an attitude stuff. You see some of it. You see some of like him being excited for other guys and him being there and wanting guys to shoot when they shoot. Like, you know, he's not like a, hey, I'm the one that takes all the shots guy, but it's just like, because he's so emotional, which is something that like I definitely identify with, because he's so emotional, it like kind of keeps him from being the like, hey, you should really keep some of that out of the public eye. And it feels like he wears his emotions on his sleeve and wears his like resentment on his sleeve. And I think it just sort of sours the whole thing too much.
I think he is a bad combination of woe is me and things that happen to him that trigger woe is me.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? Like a bad combination of woe is me and bad luck.
Yeah.
And I think he feels sorry. And he has said this, by the way, that he knows he feels sorry for himself too many times. And that just, it's not a leadership thing.
But hey, guess what, Joel? I also feel sorry for myself.
Yes.
For being as invested in this whole predicament as invested as I am. So I can't do anything about it, but you can. So
yes,
please, for next season, this season, just like whatever you got to do.
Well, you know what? This season, good for cohesion. Play together. Play together as much as you can. Without,
sure.
Yeah.
That is the, like, for the guys that are going to be here for a while. I mean, they're potentially the starting lineup, if McCain gets here, is going to be the exact starting lineup next season.
Yeah, potential. Not Oubre. I don't.
Right.
Think.
It would be Maxey, McCain, PG, Caleb, Embiid.
Yeah.
That probably should be the starting lineup next season.
Yeah.
And so if they're going to trade for somebody at the deadline and they're going to trade something of value for that thing, I would really need it to be someone that is also signed for next year as well. Like Herb Jones is an example of that. There's a couple others, Cam Johnson, a couple others, but you're like
Cam Johnson,
where you're like, this is not just more than just a this season thing, because this season is pretty much fried.
If they're able to trade for Cam Johnson without giving up McCain, by the way, like, and allowing McCain to be first guard off the bench in sort of a Manu kind of way where he still plays 28 or 30 minutes. And that way you can start a 6'7" Cam Johnson next to Tyrese Maxey. Sure. That's pretty cool. You know, like I'm good with McCain coming off the bench and not starting two tiny guards. Two quick things before we get out of here. And one, I think, is an important follow-up because we got some voicemails and some emails about your advice to the teacher to go to the kindergarten bathrooms. They all pretty much disagree with you.
Wow.
So write to Sanchez@gmail.com. We got an email from a teacher, a 5th grade teacher or something, that I guess the toilet situation was bad for him The one was right by the front office or whatever, right by people. The other one's by the teacher's lounge, but they're two great toilets by kindergarten. Mike suggested you make a friend near kindergarten and go over there.
That's even hearing you say it, I mean, like, that's so smart.
Yes.
That's so smart of me to say.
A lot of teachers, apparently there are teacher politics here. So this came from Josh.
Okay.
Spike Mike CJ, longtime fourth grade teacher and current school principal here. Something that may have gone unsaid, but is likely true, is that the fifth grade teacher who emailed about his bathroom predicament likely left out the important factor is that he is one of extremely few men who work in this building. In my experience, even in very large schools with over 100 staff, has less than 5 men on staff. My advice to the listeners to find out where the other men in the building are, and specifically the men on the custodial team, poop. This is your salvation. It's likely a space the listener hasn't considered yet, tucked away in a supply closet, safe for all types of smells. Do not go to the kindergarten wing to poo unless you want the entire staff talking about your bathroom needs. Trust me and trust the process.
I think that's a smart alt. Obviously, we're speaking in general about a school that we don't know. So if there is a sort of like secret, separate bathroom next to some like ammonia smells, then that's great. Yeah. But it's not hard to also become friends with a kindergarten teacher. Go hang there, chat for 4 or 5 minutes during a break, and go like, all right, there's a bathroom right here. I'm going to use it. Oh,
wow.
Like that's like,
shocker.
Come on. Play it, like, sell it.
And then last email from Bobby. Do we know how many dunk attempts the Sixers are averaging? How likely is it that we hit our goal in Atlanta? Non-basketball question, what's your favorite podcast? So, of course, this is important because Mike has assigned the Sixers to hit 8 dunk attempts for Fly the Process in Atlanta.
8 dunk attempts. Caleb Martin goes up soft. Draymond Green blocks him tonight. Can't happen. Kelly's gone up soft a couple times lately. Cannot happen. Must attempt dunks. Don't care if you miss. Andre Drummond, if Andre goes 0 for 8 on an 8 missed dunks, I'm happy.
So this is not an as easy a stat as you would think. Now, I was able to find individual stats for made dunks, but not attempted dunks. So how many made dunks per game do you think the Sixers are averaging right now?
My guess on average would be 3.5.
3.83.
Ooh, wow.
So who would you think the leader in dunks is?
It's Drummond.
Yeah, Drummond at 24.
KJ Oubre next or Oubre?
Oubre at 23. KJ Martin at 22.
Yeah.
And then a drop. Yabusele at 13. Council at 12. Maxey at 8. Martin at 6. PG at 4. Unacceptable. Bona at 3.
That Yabusele dunk in Sacramento was really nice.
It was awesome. By the way, Joel Embiid has as many dunks as Jared McCain, and that is 2.
No, Joel dunked tonight.
Okay, so then he has 3.
Even though I represented him for it.
Yeah. So if we figure they have maybe 1 extra dunk attempt per game that they're not making, that puts them at 4.83, which I think is asking for 8 if they're almost at 5.
Yeah.
Is fair.
They need to like deliver. They need to sort of unilaterally decide we are going to do this because we were asked to. Mm-hmm. If
you're not going to beat a good team in the playoffs, you could at least try to dunk 8 times in one game.
If the Sixers knew...
Jesus fucking Christ. Like, this is all we're asking for.
If the Sixers knew collectively, okay, we're playing a mediocre team tonight, and the over-under on threes attempted is like 25, 35, whatever. Mm-hmm. They could all go like, well, we can beat that.
Yeah.
We can get that. Let's get those threes up. And that's all I'm asking you to do for dunks.
Dude, Oubre and Yabusele could get to 8 on their own.
They should.
You know?
If KJ's back by then?
Yes.
Then we're talking.
Well, he'll probably be on a different team.
Might be traded, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was hoping we'd do a good podcast tonight.
Nope.
Or a happy one.
The search continues.
We will talk to you on Sunday morning, right? Yes, Sunday morning. Are you done with TTP?
Yeah. Like face.